What's going on, Elevation Nation and Top Gun Sam with Top Gun shirt on?
Hey, what's up, Parks? Happy Fortitude and 15 Thursday. You are enjoying a little vacation, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean at the moment. If you're on YouTube, I'm clearly not in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Since I'm going on a cruise, we have to record these a couple days before Fortitude 15 on a Thursday. But yes, on Thursday I will be in Atlantic Ocean. Hopefully not in the pathway of that hurricane that I've been looking at. Yeah, crazy, right?
I didn't even think about that. Where do you leave from?
It's like New Jersey. So,
Oh, all right. You should be north enough. You're good.
I hope. We'll see. It's
You're
definitely
fine,
a conversation for the day. But another thing that I feel like a lot of us have felt this past week in particular is the hurricane that's happened in the stock market. And, Sam and I have talked about personal finances before and in the stock market, and obviously we are not a professional in finance, so take anything we say with a grain of salt. But we love to talk about our mindset when things like this happens. Back in COVID, Sam, this was a big topic of conversation too. But, that was 3-4 years ago. Now we have a little bit more stake in the game. And so I'm curious to hear your mindset around what you've seen in the news and what's happening around the market. And, obviously I'll talk about mine.
Yeah, I mean, certainly some shakeups in the stock market this past week. And I used to be the guy who checked my stocks every single day, as Parker knows, and obsessed over them. And luckily over time, I've grown less obsessive. But yeah, certainly scary. You always are nervous about the economy as you start to make real money. And then I think you get to really being a young adult and you start to invest your money, save your money, have big plans, big ideas, a house you want to buy, an engagement ring you want to purchase. And so then those things become even more real. But for myself, I see this as a little bit of a way I can get ahead. I live below my means. I try to not be spending paycheck to paycheck. And so therefore, this is an opportunity, hopefully, for me to get into some things at a lower mark. That being said, last year, I stopped doing my own finances from a strategic perspective, and I brought on a friend of ours, maybe a future elevator, to help me with that strategically. So we actually spoke this morning and on Thursday and talked about some things. So in terms of like how I am handling all of the financial uncertainty, it's consistency will outwit any market. So my same process of spending below my means, saving, investing, and being aggressive, I will just continue to do. I'm not really changing my process too much. What about you, Parker? How are you feeling with all this stuff? You just paid for a wedding. You just paid for a honeymoon. You got rent in New York City. You're going on some vacations. How are you handling the financial uncertainty?
It's just another day in the world, my friend. The world is made up of uncertainty every single day. Some days it's financial uncertainty. Some days it's health uncertainty and political uncertainty. The world goes on. I think what we have on our side that I remind myself of is those percentage numbers that go down or in the red. They don't mean anything over the course of how long I want to be in the game, right? So I think, as you alluded to, your process is very important, and I always have commended my guy Ramit Sethi about setting up the right systems in place that when something like this happens, you don't change anything. You don't need to worry, in a sense, because you have the systems in place. He wrote a tweet earlier today. He said, Twitter bros freaking out. Jerome Powell, rate cuts, yield curve, Bank of Japan, Bitcoin. Very emotional. And then right below that he said index investors. Automatic monthly investment set up 13 years ago. Quote, closes laptop, goes outside. And
ain't that the damn truth?
That is how I feel about it, because my strategy does not change. It's every Friday. You have automatic investments going here, saving, and it's all automatic, regardless if the stock market goes up and regardless if the stock market goes down. And I do that because, first of all, it forces me to put money away, but then also I know I have time on my side. As a 28, turning 29-year-old, regardless if the market tanked today, we still have time on our side, and the market always has rallied back, at least in modern American history. A quote I like to use, Sam, too, from James Clear, the guy who wrote Atomic Habits, that just resonated so well with me today is, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And
I think
that couldn't be more apparent today.
Absolutely. You know, one thing that I think both of us pride ourselves on, but also equally, I think we both have an interest in it, is financial literacy and independence and knowledge. And that's one thing that we are actually going to have a guest on in a couple weeks who is all about financial literacy, and I'm excited to have him on. But even more so, it's something, Parker, we both have put systems in place that work for us that we like to do. Parker is very system-driven, which is ironic because usually that's me, but he is automatic, doesn't think about it. This is my plan. This is my process. I stick to it. I'm very similar with my process, but I get joy out of it. I do it manually because I like to see it. I like to have that rush of knowing how much I was able to invest each month to get me closer to some of my financial goals. And I think for all the young people out there that are just getting into investing and are scared and are like, well, oh my God, I just lost $100, a couple $1,000, whatever it may be in the past few days, just know that you were never planning on taking that money out right now anyway. The goal of investing is not necessarily to have a short-term win, to save up for that cool new pair of shoes right now. Longer-term investing is where it's at, and I think that's where young people unfortunately struggle a lot, is we're so used to this instant gratification. With investing, it only compounds over time, significantly over time. And that's the one thing that our generation is impatient with, time. So it'll be a test of wits and willpower in the market, Parker, with how many young people try to find a get-rich-quick scheme, how many young people stay consistent, and when it's retirement age of 50, 60, 70, how are you going to feel?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you on those points. The stock market is not like a casino, right? We're not looking for quick wins to where I'm going in Robinhood, put $100 in, and then hoping I'm picking the stock that's going to go up 25% in 2 weeks. But people play that game. And a lot of young people, I feel like, play that game. And that's okay, right, if that works for them. And maybe they'll hit. But from all the books I've read, day trading, most people lose. So
totally.
I think
I feel bad for,
a lot
Parker?
of people are going to lose this week, though, Sam.
I think they may have already lost. Now people are trying to win again, which we'll see.
Yeah.
I feel bad, Parker. I think you're spot on, right? We are young. We are just at the beginning of our investing journeys. I think you and I got a jump start compared to our parents of, investing. Although my dad did buy a condo at like 25 because it cost $20,000 and he could just buy it. And I was like, wouldn't that be nice, man? But I feel more bad for the folks that don't have time. Think about the people that were retiring this month or in the next few months and have been doing everything right and saving hard. And yes, they'll have some cushion from that, but they certainly took a hit on probably all of their investments that they were going to start pulling from in their retirement years, or people who were banking on, investments staying solid. That's where I think it gets scary. So I'm grateful that we're young and we're starting our journey because we do have more time to make up for the ebbs and flows.
I agree with you, but my mindset is telling me that you can't look at it emotionally, especially when it comes to something that you can't control, aka the stock market, right? Yep. I get emotional about things that I feel like sometimes I'm in control of, but why get like, I can't control anything that happens with the market. I can control how I save. I can control how I read and educate myself about money, but I can't control what's going to happen in the market or with businesses and how they're going to yield returns and all of that to help my stocks go up. No.
Yep.
And so I say that because you have to be very rational with the sense that in American history, at some point, there's been many crashes, or should I say corrections, and they've always bounced back. And so if you take the emotional piece out of it, you stay in the game, you stick to your process that works for you, and you keep going. And that's what mental fortitude is all about, Sam. Is just understanding who you are, in this case, who you are as an investor, what you want out of how you're going to allocate your money, and the things that inspire you. You inspire to live a better life, and as a result, you invest more money. As a result, you try to set a process up that you can save more. And you don't let that change, regardless if the good things happen or the shitty things happen. And it's that mental fortitude that keeps you going in a time like this. It will get better. It might get worse. And hopefully it will get better. We trust that will get better. You bet on America, I think it hopefully will get better. So, at the end of the day, I always like to say, you ain't a loser until you sell. And then you're a loser.
Do you always like to say that? When have you ever said that in your life?
That to you. I said that to you.
You ain't a loser unless you sell? What other
No.
scenario?
You are, if you sell, that makes you a loser. If you sell at a loss because you got scared, you're a loser. Because you can put that on paper. You can
harsh
put that on paper.
words from Parker today.
You can I'm not saying
loser.
You lost.
Okay. There you go.
But if you stay in the game, hopefully it'll go back up.
That's what you usually say.
What?
You just got to stay in the game. I've never heard you call anyone a loser before, so I don't think that's one of your catchphrases.
Well, no, this is how I describe like the cryptocurrency world when crypto was going like tanking after being at like 60 grand. I explained to like Philip and my mom, like, are you going to sell? Are you going to sell? It keeps going down. I'm like, no, because if I sell, I lose. That's what I'm implying here. I'm going to stay in the game. I'm going to hold. I'm going to keep going.
Stay in the game, baby. That's all it takes. All right, Elevation Nation. Shout-outs for today. I got to throw it back. Elevator number 46. Maury Zolette, financial advisor, overall incredible human being, elevator. Just makes perfect sense that we're shouting out Maury today on a topic like this about personal finances. We love you, Maury.
Love Maury. Big shout out there. Oh, baby. I got a shout out. I don't like... We do go back to a lot of the same elevators here and there. So I want to try to get creative with this one. Elevation Nation. I'm building some suspense. I'm stumped, Sam. I'm really stumped. I'm trying to find someone good. Okay, I got mine. Elevator 138. We did shout him out most recently, probably a month ago, but Justin Weidenfeld just came back from experience camps, which is a week-long camp, volunteer camp for people who have experienced traumatic loss in their life. We met Justin last year as he had just gotten back from experience camp, so it's actually the year anniversary since we had him on, and he's inspired Sam and myself and other elevators in the nations to get more involved in experience camps. And so Sam and I will be going in 2 weeks, and that's going to be really exciting to recap with Elevation Nation. So really looking forward to it, and shout out Justin. Awesome guy.
Incredible. All right, Elevation Nation, hold on to those penny stocks until next week. Oh, and I should clarify that nothing we say in this podcast can be considered financial advice. We are not professional finance experts, and you should consult with your accountant and lawyer and financial advisor. All right, until next week.
Yeah,
Peace.
if you have those.